Hello everybody and welcome to Work Against the Grain. My name is Jeff. I want to show you a real simple way to create some 2D tool paths on the fourth axis, the rotary axis of the CNC machine, and then utilize some profile bits to cut some neat spindles. So the first thing that we want to do is come up here to Gadgets, Wrapped Job Setup. And we've got a 24-inch long cylinder, 3¼ inch diameter. We're going to wrap our X values around our Y axis. Our Z0 is going to be in the center of the cylinder. We're going to use a simple cylindrical wrap and click OK. Now, this represents the stock. And remember, when we're utilizing the wrapping, you're picturing this as this edge wraps around to the other edge, and if you were to take a tape measure and wrap it around your cylinder, it would be 10.2102 inches. And we need to know that measurement in order to know how long our polylines need to be to create the vectors that the profile bits will cut along. So we want to come up here to draw a polyline. And we want to start at X0, Y3, click Add, and you can see here that adds a point there on the X0 or on that the very edge there. And then we're going to come and put it at a 0 angle because we want it to go straight across. And then this is where we want to put that measurement we remembered. In our case, it's 10.2102 inches, and click Add. And you can see there that that now has a polyline that runs the length of our stock, which in our case is the diameter around our cylinder. And then we're going to click Close. We have now created a vector, a 2D vector, that we can have the profile bits cut along. And so let's go over to our toolpath tab now. We have our vector selected here. And we want to come up here to the profile toolpath, select it. And in our particular case for the profile bit, and you're going to have to play with this a little bit to get the desired result, but in our case we're going to cut 3/4 inch, and we're going to want to use our 3983 Magnate Classic Plunge, and that's what that bit looks like. And again, you can go to Vectric, and there's some great videos on how you can add a profile bit to your tool database. So I've added this one, and we're going to select OK. It's going to make 2 passes. We're going to cut on the vector line. We have no need for tabs, leads, ramps, order, or corners. And we'll come down here and call this 3983 Classic Plunge. And calculate. And so as you can see here, we've created a tool path now on our stock, and we can come up here and preview that tool path. And that gives you what that tool path would look like in some flat stock. But what we want to do is come over here to tool paths, tool path drawing, and we want to wrap our X values around our Y axis. And so you see there's our cylinder, and there is our profile bit that has created a nice bead and cove look utilizing a real simple Vectric 2D tool path and a profile bit. And so what we're going to do is we are going to, in our drawing tab, we're going to create some more of these vectors and some more tool paths. They'll all be done exactly how we did that one. And we're going to take some different bits and show you what those different profiles can look like utilizing the vectors you create in Vectric. So coming up next, we're going to show you exactly what this looks like on the 4th axis of your CNC. And thanks again for watching. Work against the grain. My name is Jeff. Okay, so we've got the vectors that we created in Vectric loaded into our CNC machine. And now we are going to take our profile bits and cut on the vector line. And this, I'm going to take a few of the bits and show you the different profiles and the different looks that you can get with the different profiles and a real simple 2D toolpath, vector toolpath out of Vectric Aspire or VCarve Pro. Now this first one is what's called the classic plunge bit, and here we go. .3942 Magnate Classic Plunge. And I'm just using a 4x4 from Home Depot just to show you the tool path and the profile bit, okay? No great wood species here. Okay, as you can see, that's a nice little profile. Again, the 3942 Classic Plunge from Magnate. I'm going to change a bit and I'll be right back to you. Okay, the second bit we'd like to show you today is the 1 9/16 Magnate bit 817. It is the core box, 1 9/16 of an inch. Cutting diameter is 1 9/16, as I've now said 3 times. Cutting length, 1 1/32 inches with a 1/2 inch shank diameter. We've got the Vectric 2D rounding tool path loaded into the machine. And let's see what this one looks like. And that's the core box bit, making a nice little cove. Let me change a bit. We'll come back and show you another one. Okay, here we go with another profile bit. This is the Magnate 3942 Classic Plunge. I may have mentioned the first one that we did, the Triple Classic Plunge. I may have called that a 3942. That first one we did was a 3983 Triple Classic Plunge by Magnate. But here we go with the 3942 Classic Plunge Vectric 2D tool paths on a wrapping 4th axis rotary. And I want to point out too that I'm going 3/4 of an inch to an inch deep. You will need to, based on the profile and some testing, decide the look that you want to achieve. Some might say that the look there is enough. This has a cutting depth of 3/4 of an inch. And that's what I did here. This is full depth of 3/4 of an inch. Very similar to the first one we did, the 3983. It's a little bit different profile, and I wanted to show you that. Gonna change the bit. We'll be right back with another one. Okay, this one's a little bit different. This is the Amana 1/2 inch radius plunge roundover bit. And we're gonna make a bead here. We're gonna go in here to round off the one that we just did, round off the end of that. And then we're gonna move the tool over on a second 2D tool path and make a bead just above that plunge, the classic plunge bit we just did. So it'll all come to you in just a minute. Let's watch the first pass here. Now, I'm not real sure of the depth on this one, and so we'll let it go through the cycle here and just kind of check it as we go. So this is the Amana 1/2 inch plunge roundover. It's our first pass. Back to 0. Second pass. Back to 0. Third pass. And then this fourth pass should give us the rounding part we were looking for. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a really nice round over, as you can see. Let me load the tool path to get the other side of the bead. I'll be right back to you. Okay, I am back, and we will run the tool path now that will create a bead on the post. As you'll see, it'll make the second side of the first side that we did. And so let's have a look and see what that looks like. The Amana 1/2 inch radius plunge roundover. I always take it to G53Z0 for the first one. And then we just raise it to safe Z2. Thanks to Mick Martin. Mick, thanks for that tip, because that saves some time as well. Now you could stop there if you like that bead. I'm going to go ahead and go the same depth as I did the first one. And as you can see there, that gives you a really nice looking donut-like bead, if you will, that it really looks good. So let's get a close-up there. Whoops. And look, I'm no designer. I just want to show you what you can do with the various profiles. Here I've shown you 3 or 4 different profiles and some techniques that, utilizing Vectric, the wrapping gadget, the rounding tool paths, and some profile bits from Amana, Magnate, the router bit company of your choice, you can create some pretty neat profiles and some pretty neat looks on the 4th axis of your CNC. So I hope you've enjoyed taking a look at some of these profile tool paths. I really like that bead. That really came out nice. The plunge. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe. This is Work Against the Grain. My name is Jeff. Thanks again, Mick.